Hello, today I want to show you how you can easily onboard your existing tenant to Desktop Studio. For that, we have actually a new tenant. This one I'm going to log into at dsonboarding.onmicrosoft.com. Okay, so as we can see here, this tenant is pretty empty. We can go into the resource groups. There will be none, so everything is empty. We can see here that we have an existing subscription. This one is going through credit card. You of course can do it with your enterprise agreement or your CSP subscription. Okay, so now how do we onboard? We want to create a new resource. Okay, and we are going to look for the Desktop Studio service, desktop.studio, and here it is. Okay, just by clicking on it, we can actually see what it contains, what the prices are, and stuff like that. All the prices are pay-per-use, so if you don't use Azure, you don't pay for the Desktop Studio as well. Now, we select that we want to go on with that one. Okay, here we are. So we give it a name. We can name it whatever we want. Let's name it just Desktop Studio. We pay monthly, we accept the agreement, and type in our email addresses. Okay, now the service is provisioned on Azure, and afterwards we are going to go through the Desktop Studio onboarding process. We could find it here through Software as a Service. Here we are. Here we will come to the same point. Okay, so now here we can see that there is still some action required, and this is the actual onboarding process. So what we do is we hit configure. We are redirected to the Desktop Studio portal, onboarding portal, where we can log in with our existing user, with the admin user. Okay, here we are going to get redirected to Azure in order to accept that the onboarding process is allowed to do certain changes to the Azure tenant. Okay, so we are going to accept here, and we are redirected to Desktop Studio. Now what happens is within 8 steps we will have everything set up from, as you saw, nothing. Okay, so the first thing we do is we enable the Desktop Studio application. In order to do that, we have to grant admin consent. Okay, we have to log in with our admin user. And accept. It's going to load and check whether the application has been enabled. As soon as that happened, it will vanish, as we can see here. Okay, the application is granted access. The setup type, here we can choose between a new setup and an integration. As we do not have anything set up on the tenant, we choose a new setup. Okay. Next, we choose the subscription. which is now only one. Maybe you have more, then you can select the appropriate subscription. Here we can select the domain type. Now, for most of the use cases, Azure AD Domain Services is the choice to make. Okay, the other two are more for special need. So here we choose the primary domain. Of course, on that new tenant we only have the legacy domain name. If you would have defined some other domain names, they would be listed here. It's important to note that if you create new users within Desktop Studio, they will have that domain ending appended to their email address. Okay, so we hit next. Then we select the data center location. For us, this is West Europe. For you, it may be on another country, whatever you want. Okay, here on the second last item, we select the network range. Here we have some proposals of what you can choose. Okay, so choose one which is not already in your local network present, because maybe later you want to do a site-to-site VPN between your Azure resources and your data center location, and then you don't want to have an IP overlap. That as a last step, we will type in the email address. This does not have to be the email address of the admin, but it has to be the email address where you want to receive the email telling you that everything has been set up and giving you the credentials for Desktop Studio. So I just type in my own email address and hit Setup Desktop Studio. Okay, now it's submitting, and soon it will be telling us that it will inform us as soon as everything is set up and ready. Okay, so if we select Azure AD Domain Services to be set up, this process can take up to 2 to 3 hours, and see you then.